Yo, happy Veterans Day, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday through Friday show. We're live, back at it. We got Brett Collins in the mix. What's up, Brett? Oh, you muted. Again.
I think you muted me.
No.
Are you freezing your ass off or what? I mean, dude, I woke up, it's 39 degrees, and I was like, dude, please. You're like texting me, it's snowing. And I'm like, is it going to snow in Tampa? I was hoping. I'm like, man, I love it. I love the cold weather. I really do. And people are like, oh, I don't like the cold weather and stuff. I'm like, well, if you live in Florida like me and you sweat your ass off for 8 months, then you'll appreciate at least 4 months of cool weather. You know, that's just me.
For sure.
I mean,
we had some snow up here for a little while. It snowed in Rock Hill.
Did it stick? Did it stick no? Oh,
the
just like
ground was still too warm, but it was good to see it. It is very cold. I think the low went down to like 19. Very, very cold, but it's without further ado, I just want to say this. Big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to Brett, everybody on Pilled, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Rumble. Shout outs to you. Make sure on YouTube you hit that notification bell so you do get the alert. I would really appreciate that. And we have a lot to get into today, so yeah. Also, you can hit that Cash App. I would really appreciate it. It helps keep the channel alive. So mods, if you want to throw that in there, thank you, Trump One. Thank you, Trusty Turnip, for the Cash App. And yeah, help out with the Gold Pill Challenge. We're really low on those, so yeah, help out as much as you can. Also, merch. If you want merch, we got hoodies, we got crew neck sweatshirts, we got zip-up hoodies, hats, golf shirts, all kinds of stuff. I'll show you that at the end of the show. So yeah, man, we are live and in the flesh. So before we get into the news, you know what to do. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Let's go. As we wrap up 2025, it's a good time to slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we've all learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal, it isn't a plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people that they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. Look, no one knows what 2026 will bring, but one thing is for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital. It's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. So when you're sitting around the table this holiday season surrounded by family members, the best gift that you can give them isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers, peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. Before the year ends, take one smart step toward a safer future. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com and get your free wealth protection kit today. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And there we go. Isn't that nice? Hope you guys are getting that Christmas shopping done or whatever. Or if not, I'm against it. I don't like it. I just like the food and all that kind of stuff.
I'm still waiting for Santa Claus to come, right?
Something like that. I do want to let everybody know that there is a promo code. All you have to do is just go to TRUreportingGold.com. You put that in there, and then just call the number and say, hey, I'm looking at it. You know, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. But if it's kind of out of your range or anything like that, guess what? Just the call matters. So, again, that number is 877-646-5347. Hit Noble Gold up, man. You want to get into investing, do it. Because I'm telling you, this fiat money ain't going to be around for much longer. Invest in gold and silver, guys. Go ahead and do it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, folks. All right, Brett. This took place during the TPUSA. And you can see here, violence and arrests at Berkeley University as Antifa swarms TPUSA and the event, mocks Charlie Kirk's death. These people have, I mean, look at the picture. I mean, these people are absolutely insane, masked up. I think they have mental illness, and I hope that they don't, but it seems as though they do. At the University of California, Berkeley on Monday, yesterday, multiple people were arrested after a violence broke out before Turning Point USA's final stop on its tour at the campus. It's hilarious. They left Berkeley for the final battle. Per Frontline's TPUSA reporter Savannah Hernandez said at least 2 people were arrested on campus after a fight broke out between a Trump supporter and an Antifa member. Don't let them get you all riled up, man. You can't let that happen. You're kind of putting yourself into a bad situation. Now this guy's got a record. He's a Trump supporter. Now he's got a record. Come on, man. You got to keep it together. The Trump supporter who was left bloodied claimed the Antifa member had tried to rob him. Antifa members attempted to, in quote, de-arrest the member after being arrested by police. I don't know what de-arrest means. I guess it means fighting back with the cops. So again, Antifa agitators were seen rushing the barricade set up at the entrance of the event, chanting "fascists out of Berkeley." Another arrest was reportedly made. Don't bring yourself into this situation, folks. Police arrest another anti-TPUSA protester outside the This Is a Turning Point campus tour stop at UC Berkeley. Turning Point, and we all know, with the attendees there using fireworks and tear gas. Take a look. I mean, it's just madness. How embarrassing. What if that was your son or whatever that is? That might be a lady. Nice granny panties, by the way. My God in heaven. But again, you know, this is what takes place at these campuses. It's all paid. We already know that. I mean, that's been 100% legitimized, so there's no escaping that. You know, I just want people to know, and the whole point of me showing that is just saying that don't get yourself into trouble when it comes to these lowlives. I think that's a good message, right, Brett? Like, don't do that. I know the guy got attacked and you got to fight back, but again, we don't have video of it. But, you know, don't get yourself into a jam. Don't get all jammed up and then you got a record. It ain't going to look good for you. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I just, you know, the concept of like protesting and utilizing your First Amendment is, you know, it's off the rails. It doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, if you even go back to the 60s with the rioting that was going on back then,
sure,
and you saw the uptick, and then the 70s with the Vietnam War and, you know, no nukes and all that stuff, these types of scenarios have gotten so chaotic and so, like, pervasive that it's just like almost your First Amendment right, peaceful assembly, no longer exists. And I think that the idea that we have to leave certain like disclaimers out about these types of things shows you that our First Amendment is deteriorating right in front of you. And there are many examples of the deterioration of our First Amendment. This is just one example where Antifa just gets to run wild and roughshod at these things. And these blue city fiefdom, let's just say municipalities, whether it's, you know, the California, at Berkeley here, LA, you know, corrupt mayor, you know, corrupt governor. They don't care. They allow this to happen. Campus security laxed. I think in some way, though, let me just put it this way. I think Trump's base is growing. And look, and you have to keep this in mind because you can have, I think in some way, not mutually exclusive ideas. Two things are not dependent on each other that can coexist. And I do believe in some way that the idea that we see these types of things happen all the time and nothing is done, you know, whether what's going on behind the scenes or what we're being told on a daily basis, people are just not buying it anymore. And they're growing impatient. They're growing frustrated. It's born out of frustration. And I think in ways people are slowly walking away the idea that we're ever going to get this cold, so to speak. I mean, the restlessness, the agitation, the irritability. We've been longing for something to take place, for the hammer to finally drop. Now, it's individually and piecemeal all over the place, with Clapper now being indicted in Florida right here in Fort Pierce. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, Russia, Russia, Russia. We're talking violent extremists. That's been going on for so long right now that it just doesn't stop. And under this watch, We were told that this stuff is going to come crashing down. Now, I think that, it's like, and I hate those people that tell me, well, it's on a timeline and it's on this and that. Fuck off. Just go away. Go away, because you're not thinking for yourself. You're not asking the right proper questions. In fact, you just want to sit back and eat your popcorn and ingest the nonsense without having critical thinking of your own. You want someone else to do it for you. And that's what I'm sick of. And what really bothers me, all right, is that any vocal, let's just say, opinion or thought process about this, whether it's critical or not against President Trump, doesn't mean I'm off this train. It means that I'm just asking questions. Okay, while we're talking about 50-year mortgages and 15-year car payment loans, which I'd like to get to, and other things, and what's going on with Argentina getting a $20 billion loan extension.
They did get that.
A loan extension, which is they're going to pay it back. They're actually paying now off a percentage. But we just want to know the basic discussion, and we see all the time that's happening with ICE agents and all these things. When is the hammer going to drop? And we're actually going to say it's time. Let this herd be heard, so to speak. Let's send out, the military and do the job. I mean, I don't know what we have to do. We went 40 days and 40 nights with the shutdown. People not getting paid. The biggest story was that air traffic controllers were not getting paid.
Right.
That was the biggest story. Military secondary. Capitol Police, whatever, other police secondary. Federal cops, marshals. But that not getting paid was a scary sight. Them pulling back the idea, and then Trump telling us in the White House that we have to do this because we have to somehow reinvent, retool our avionics. We have to fix our air traffic controller situation. We have to update it. It's antiquated. We have to move forward with all these different things. That's great. That's what we learned out of that. But in these types of scenarios with Turning Point USA, my question is, why do you go to these events? Why do you go to these events when you put guest speakers in harm's way? You put the people involved.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk is no longer there. He's no longer there. And my view of how I see Turning Point has gone down the drain now. I have a very slanted view of Turning Point USA. The people at the top, the people that sit up there, his wife, all this stuff, all this magistrate that goes on, pageantry that goes on. I no longer buy into the futility of the reasoning, because when Charlie Kirk was there, there was a voice, there was a reasoning, all right? And I just no longer see a message anymore, because what is taking place at the University of Florida, very soon, Byron Donalds and Benny Johnson are going to go there, that the Turning Point USA chapter was of that area in Gainesville, Florida, was critical of the Republican Party, of the Republicans of the University of Florida. For what? They were being censored because they don't like what they see. And since they don't like what they see, Turning Point USA chapter in Gainesville, Florida, is now censoring them, banning them, and doing all these things that they claim they're not, that Charlie Kirk was a bridge for between the establishment and, let's say, the alt-right. And now they're siding with the establishment, shutting them down. Byron Donalds is going to attend. He doesn't have my vote. Will not have my vote. I will vote for anybody else but Byron Donalds. If you want to shut down free speech like Tucker Carlson or anybody else, even Fuentes or anybody else, I don't want you as my governor because I don't trust you. The freedom of speech, the freedom of speech, the freedom of discussion, just to have a freaking conversation, all right, about whatever it is. And if you don't like it, too bad. Muted. Yep.
That's what happens. Yeah, you'll if you go against their grain, these certain people that are part of, quote, the establishment and the GOP, again, I've said it multiple times, I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. I don't think that is even a notion that is so antiquated, as Brett said. It is just, it's lame, for lack of a better term. It is lame to be Republican. It is lame to be a Democrat. Be a free thinker. Use your discernment. Move forward through the trenches. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we should all be doing day in and day out, because, again, the manipulation is there. The propaganda is there. It is in your face. And we spent many years waking up. Some people were awake before any of this took place. before these channels existed, that they were like, man, I see right through the veil. Now there's a lot more of us seeing right through the veil. So when you start hearing Byron Donalds talk about things about
an H-1 visa that he wants to support.
It's time to be quiet, he says.
Yeah.
You go, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Exactly. I don't care that Trump is putting your hand on, and you're going to be. I'm like, people like, he's going to be governor. I'm like, well, good luck now. I don't think so. I think he's going to have a massive pushback with a lot of different things. I even said months ago he'd have a problem because of the race card, but I also think it's not even that anymore. I think that every time he opens his mouth, he puts his foot in it, and H1B1 is a dead stick to run with. It's a dead stick to run with. We don't want to hear it. Considering right now, Thomas, we have an affordability problem. I have to say this, is that the person, I think Bill O'Reilly said it best the other day on Newsmax or News Nation. He said, we need an economic or something of that nature, affordability.
We'll get to that. I had that in the
okay.
tabs.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had that, but
yeah, I sent the links to you. And we'll get to that. So yeah, let's again, everybody, a little buffering today. Shouldn't be. My internet is absolutely perfecto. We're dealing with fiber optic, folks. So if you're enjoying the show thus far, go ahead and hit up that Cash App. That is #stream donation 17, or help out with Gold Pills. It'll probably be in the spring. We'll be monetized over there on YouTube, and you guys can drop super chats. But until then. Wow. That Cash App is ready and wide open for everybody. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is pretty interesting. This is coming from, we're going to prosecute these people. DOJ weaponizing czar Eagle Ed Martin says the Arctic front is only the beginning of the disclosures that are coming, and reiterates that there is no statute of limitations on these conspiracies. So again, let's take a listen to this. This is wild stuff. And Brett just mentioned about James Clapper being indicted. I want to see grand juries. I want to see these people indicted. I do not want to see hearings. I know I've been very, I talk about that a lot throughout the past, but I think we were live 2 weeks in a row, Tuesday through Friday. This Friday, definitely, we are going to try our best to get beyond the headlines back on track. So get stoked for that in Linden Paris. Tuesday will be our live show with me and Brett, and then Wednesday and Thursday will be myself alone, and we'll try and factor in some call-in shows as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is pretty heavy. A lot of pain and panic is coming down the pipeline, just to let everybody know.
What else can you tell us about what you've learned by looking under the hood here in terms of how wide this net really was in terms of the Biden weaponization of its agencies and trying to take down their political enemies?
Well, Maria, I think God shined on us when Donald Trump won this election, because we've been able to find out what really happened. You mentioned the Russia hoax. We now know from Tulsi Gabbard's disclosure, she declassified that there was a memo in December of 2016. That's the start of what I would say is the conspiracy to get Trump. And they did it all throughout his term. Then they did it on January 6th and after. I would just point to, again, deranged Jack Smith can show you the path. Deranged Jack Smith had a conspiracy across the country. He targeted all these electors, and Senator Johnson mentioned Wisconsin, but then he utilized a network of local prosecutors, attorneys general. It's all coming out, Maria, and the power of this presidency, and General Bondi is the one that really set me on this course with the weaponization group, is to get uncover what's going on and hold them accountable. And I say this over and over again. We're going to prosecute these people every way we can. We're also going to name and shame them. They should be, for history, known as the people that have targeted fellow American citizens in order to get Trump. It's a scandal beyond anything we saw. Arctic frost is only the beginning of the disclosures that are still coming in this important time. And again, the pardons are protection for the people who are trying to do their job under the Constitution, doing normal things. By the way, the Democrats did it in 1960, famously. JFK had alternate electors in Hawaii. They signed up. They served the role. They're dead now. I wanted to postulate posthumously pardon them to point to this fact that how hypocritical this is. But it doesn't matter what the law, it doesn't matter what the truth. It's get Trump and get Trump supporters, and we've got to stand up to that.
And Ed, it's now well known that the Russia collusion story really took life in that meeting in 2016 in the Oval Office with President Obama, where John Brennan, then CIA head, wrote down notes. And here's what he wrote. We have the shot of his scribbling, but we actually pulled it out to show the audience exactly what he wrote. And he wrote this in a meeting with Obama. There is an alleged approval by Hillary Clinton on July 26, 2016, of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services. I mean, it was right there in black and white. John Brennan wrote it down in his notes that they are all approving Hillary Clinton's plan to cover up her email scandal and tie Trump to Russia right at the start of the 2016 campaigning season.
Well, you know, first of all, I call Devin Nunes when I want to figure out exactly what's going on. The guy's one of the best I've ever seen and knows stuff. But real quickly, what I would say is this. There's no statute of limitations on the truth. We're going to get the truth out on what went on. That's true. But also, there's no statute of limitations on certain kinds of conspiracies, depending on what the underlying crimes are. And no less an authority on RICO than Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. Before that, he was America's prosecutor. I talked to him about that. What you see is a common enterprise. It's called a criminal enterprise, but a common group of people marching through time doing get Trump from December of 2016 all the way to today, and the same group. So we have to get to it and look at it closely. But again, back to the pardons. What the country and what the media wants us to do is look past the people being victimized. And I just want to say again, Senator Ron Johnson was a huge help on this to give relief and to focus on protecting these people who deserve to pardon, these alternate electors and their affiliates. We're really proud of that, and it's a really big day. It's important. In history, it will go down as Donald Trump standing up for American citizens who were targeted by the Biden administration, by Merrick Garland, and by deranged Jack Smith.
And let's not forget, also, this leads right back to Obama. She said it. Maria Bartiromo said it at the very beginning. This all goes back to the Clintons. This all goes back to Obama. It's out there. It's in your face that this was, and we knew it back then, but now it's really in our face. We want these prosecutions to take place. Brett, before I get into a video pertaining to this, what would you say to these people that have done such wrong? That again, we've been through this since December of 2016. We're going into December of 2025. That is 9 years straight of absolute lies, propaganda, assassination attempts, impeachments, all sorts of things. Now, thank God, these people are getting pardons that didn't do anything wrong. I want to fight back. I want to see the fight back. No violence, obviously, but I want to know what you think about this.
Well, this should be front and center about everything. Every day we should be talking about this.
I
agree. Understand that, we'll get to the affordability scenario. And all the acceleration theory that everybody talks about. But, this couldn't have been more accelerated enough. I mean, we've waited how many years? I mean, a very long time with this Russia hoax between the first term, the interim, and now this. I understand 150 subpoenas are going to go out by the end of the year. More people will be indicted. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, I'm all looking forward to see them indicted and stuff. Maybe some will unalive themselves. That'll be great. I don't know how many people are willing to face justice or can face justice. But at this point, it all comes back to the ideas that we all talk about all the time, is that all these people are going to eat themselves, all right? Eat others, eat themselves. They're going to sell out one another so they can get a deal if there's a deal on the table for them. I mean, we see all the time, we hear all the time, a lot of these people, some of these people get to walk away, which to me pisses me off. But if they're giving up information, giving up sources to get to the higher ups or the deep dark, so to speak, I'm fine with that per se, as long as they're not allowed to come back to positions in any way, whether it's running for congressman or senator, running for president, becoming moving from the FBI to CIA or other agencies in that, like Lisa Page Peter Strzok, and many other people. I think that January 6th, the coup plotters, which I call the electors, which President Trump just pardoned, which is Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Elson, many of these people and stuff that have just been pardoned recently. This is all, if you look at how it's all going in reverse in some way, reverse in the sense of a good way, because it's all leading up to 2020. That is the key. You've seen him all over the place. Colombo, which they call him, Ed Martin. I mean, he's all over the place. He's basically saying he wants to know why the ballots from Georgia and all these other places, that if you have them, you don't want to give them up. Why are you hiding them? If you don't have them, that means you destroyed them and you destroyed evidence, and now you can't prove Biden won the election in that state, because Georgia was the key state that basically swung the election per se over to Biden, and that's going to be on the forefront. But when I look at Ed Martin in general and understand where he's going, he's got a lot on his plate. He's all over the place. And so I'm excited in some ways that these things are happening. But simultaneously, I can have 2-3 competing thoughts in my head about the way I see the country. And one way, I believe that everything is being vitiated out. The fraud is being uncovered, and then people will pay some type of penalty for what they have done. We'd all like to see some gallows and swinging ropes, but I don't know if that's going to happen in the way we're going to understand it. People will make deals, and some people will get worse deals than others. So you can get to the two people, Rotten Box Clinton and Barry Obama, Barry Soetoro. That's it. Those are the two people. And once those two people come down, whoever are behind them, the foreign interference, okay, that we're taking money, they're giving money, that they're selling out their country for, that's where you go at. That's the next step. That's the next level. And they already have all this information, but it's slowly matriculating out so normies, NPCs, the rest of us can digest it, while the rest of us who have already been ahead of the curve, we're just over it. We want it now. We want it now. We want to watch the ending of the movie as we walk in the movie theater, not the whole movie. We've already seen it. All right. I want to go in at the end of Halloween, knowing that Halloween 2 is going to happen and know where it's going to pick up from. And that's exactly where we are. That's how I see it. But the point is, the impatience is growing, the agitation.
It is.
The longing, not just for some justice. We see it. You could see it down the horizon. We get it to some point. But with everything else that is taking place economically, and there are other things that are happening that we're seeing in Latin America, South America right now, that are causing a lot of bubbles. A lot of people are not really sure what is taking place there per se. Loaning money to Argentina, a lot of people didn't like. I saw Scott Bessent discuss that. They're just, like I said, the people are all over the place, and they're trying to figure out, I'm on my side. I'm not here. I'm not there and stuff like that. It's okay. You don't have to agree with everything that you see. All right. Just don't be so far removed that you got to jump off the train and then run to sprint to get back on it from a longer distance when everything is catching up and that it's all falling into place. I think the problem people are having is communication. They just not. There's so much.
It's a lot of frustration.
Yeah, I mean, with what happened with Kash Patel and his girlfriend now suing people. Yeah, I think there's so much distraction that people are just not. Shouldn't this be the focus, our focal point of
this
what the
right
first
here,
term?
what we just watched should be the prime focus.
Right.
115%, 117%.
But it's not.
It's not. I'm going to play this for you as well. Let's take a listen to this.
This is bigger than Donald Trump. This is bigger than where we are right now. This is about the future of the United States of America and whether or not we are going to have a legitimate constitutional republic in the years ahead. Well past Donald Trump, right? I mean, whoever ends up being in 2028 or 2032 or beyond, whether or not we get another 50 years out of our republic, never mind another 250 years. So this is bigger, and the United States of America and the people in our country, particularly those duly elected leaders. I mean, I just had 2 more people get a hold of me today that are running against these rhino establishment people in different states, one for Congress, one for Senate. And they're in both cases, they're veterans, which I love the fact that we have veterans starting to stand up to get back involved in service to the country in a political way.
Again, so, General Flynn, I know it makes a lot of sense right there. Like, listen, we've got to focus now on this. This is not waiting 50 years or anything like that, or what's going to happen in 2028, 2032. I mean, we need to buckle down right now. We need to get this information out there. We need to start having things take place. We need to see action being made. We always compare all of this to the movie, grab your popcorn and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody yell action. Let's go. Let's see it. I want to see more National Guard. I want to see Marines. I want to see I want it all to be done. I want to see the sergeant at arms go out there. I want to see them pulled into a courtroom in front of a grand jury. That's what I want to see. That would appease me because they have the evidence on these people.
Yeah.
They have everything on these people. It's been out there for years. And I'm ready for the hammer to drop. I'm ready for the judge's gavel just to come down and say, I'm sentencing you to death. I'm sentencing you to 20 years to life, 10 to life. I don't care. What you've done in the wake of this country is unforgivable. Our country will never be the same because of these people. Everyone is up in arms. Everyone is divided. And I'm sick of it. And I think the repercussions need to start coming down ASAP.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen this year per se. I mean, I know that they're still, subpoenaing people. The indictments are going out. We don't know if all these deals have been made. Maybe it's already been done. We don't know all these individual people. Clapper's going to be really interesting because he was the big one. He's the one who took down the big one. He's the one who took down General Flynn. He was the architect of that. You'll find out about that. So I can understand General Flynn's disposition about that. He's pissed, and he's right. The problem is now. We don't have 4 years. We didn't even have next year. The idea that we can't even get this Senate to move past with the filibuster to not only codify all of President Trump's executive orders and all his actions, it's not just that. It's to pass single item bills that will benefit, not just help with the election and the election theft and all the fraud and all this stuff. It'll vitiate all the other waste and garbage, and it'll potentially make it absolute that we don't longer have to go through this process ever again. What are they waiting on? Are we waiting on all the people resigning? Well, there are a lot of people resigning on both sides of the House. You got 36 senators up for re-election. There's some with a lot with open seats. And you saw a lot of those senators cross lines from the Democrat Party, as I said yesterday, because of what? A lot of them are up for re-election. The political article lied to you. Jean Shaheen's seat is open, okay? And, Mark Warner's running in Virginia, so that's why Tim Warner is putting his foot down, because he represents 150,000 federal employees in his district. That's why these people cross the line, not because of you and I. They don't live next to poor neighbors. They're all millionaires.
Facts.
Okay? They weren't thinking about you and I opening up the government. And the discussion about Obamacare is the most telling thing. They understand that the ACA is the most arching thing. And now that people are realizing they wanted to give it to and open it up, $1 trillion to trans and illegal nationals, legal aliens, that's it. When your healthcare jumped from 500 to what? 3,000. And now they timed it out. They stabled it. But look, I think what he's saying, he's like, look, we don't stop talking about who's going to be the president in 2028. Stop talking about this. Fix this problem now.
Focus
2026
now.
is here. 2020, we got 2 months. Because look, in August of 2026, the recess will happen. And all these people, if we have election,
if
in
we're
November
able to keep the Senate and the House, if we're able to do that,
if they're all going to scurry off to run, there's going to be
Yep.
32 seats, and then everybody in the House.
then
Some
everything's
people dipping
locked
out.
down. We'll be blocked. Everything will be blocked.
There'll be no transaction of going on of laws. They won't be passing anything. They won't be doing anything. So you have until now, until I would say realistically, until about April of spring, maybe May, to pass as many bills as you can before they come and take the House, okay, if that's going to happen. Am I fearful about that? Yeah. Listen, I don't want to relive another. I'd rather not have an election. I'd rather not see another election, because if they win and steal it again, and we had every opportunity to do it, it's over. It's over. They'll just go through the process of stonewalling, just like they're doing now in the Senate, All right. And maybe they're waiting for the time to drop that nuclear option idea. That's fine. But we're still waiting. Do you trust them? I don't trust anybody in the Senate. Far as I know, Rand Paul is the biggest rotten snake. He is holding up this whole thing, this transition for some hemp bill that he wanted to push through that they're tabling right now. I mean, God, the guy is he's such a cretin. I don't know what happened to him in some way. He's another one that's been captured. But everybody in the Senate, as I look at the Senate right now, is not President Trump's on his side. They may appear to be, all right, in name only. But realistically, they're not really MAGA. They're all about themselves. And some of them will defend him here and there. Mike Lee is one good example. He's one that I'll give. That's it. He probably should be on the Supreme Court and not in the Senate. But overall, I don't know what people are thinking anymore. If you really think that the House and the Senate are going to solve our problems, you're crazy. Where else are you going to turn to? It's already over. It's either Trump or nothing. Again, you're allowed to bitch and moan and cry, and fine. We should be bemoaning everything, Thomas. Everything is ridiculous. It's cost effective. I understand.
We've talked about that on the phone. Yeah. We've talked about that where a lot of people are saying, well, this is Trump's fault.
We're actually fighting about it.
It's not. It's really not. It's the agencies under him. He's not able to. They're not coinciding, and they're not working with each other. The things that President Trump wants, these three-letter agencies just seem to be just lackadaisical. And it goes to the video that we just watched. I mean, do we think that Pam Bondi's going to do anything? Are there prosecutions going to come? Is anything going to happen when it comes to her? Do we trust her at this point?
As far as, look, just put the Epstein stuff aside. It's just not going to come out. All right? Let's just, whatever you think you understand about Epstein or not, it's not going to come out the way you are. We were talking about yesterday about Ghislaine Maxwell, and understand that the House Democrats are looking, they've intercepted comms or some type of communication that they think that she might get a commutation from President Trump, and they want to bring in Pam Bondi. They want to bring in Todd Blanche and have a discussion. They want to find out what she told him. See, if they had all this relevant information regarding Epstein, why do they need to bring them in? Think about that. If the House is ready to come back and the Democrats are ready to put all the Epstein stuff on the table and move this forward, why did they need Todd Blanche to come in and say, hey, what did Ghislaine Maxwell tell you? Why did she get moved from Jacksonville to a Bryan camp? It's called a Bryan camp or whatever in Texas or near Houston, which is basically a Fed. It's a hotel Fed. Why did she get moved? What did she promise? What did she give up? See, if they were really serious, and this is what permeates our government. Honestly, do you care about the Epstein stuff, or do you care about if there is any to begin with, or whatever? Because I don't believe so. 2 SDNY officials from the Justice Department resigned a couple of days ago. No one thought twice to think about why that was. Those are the people that were in charge with the Manhattan stuff that came out of Epstein. But when you really look at this, do you care about economic affordability, and you care about the American dream, about your family, or you care about the Epstein stuff? Start thinking about what's viable, what's real, what's important, what you need to move forward. What is the agenda? I think that's the key that a lot of people I see on X that are railing against. They don't care about all this other stuff. And those that do are only there to divide and conquer. If they're still there doing it. Yeah.
Everyone can point the finger at Trump. He's not getting the job done. Gas isn't coming down. All these sorts of things. Groceries are still expensive. Actually, I looked at gas prices over the weekend. I think they dropped like 40 cents up here.
Yeah, Gas Buddy. I looked in the area that I'm at, and I take 5 counties in the region. Okay. It did drop. It dropped one county. It dropped $1. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I want to see. And I think everybody else wants to see that too. Listen, we're going right into the holidays. People go out there, they start buying Christmas presents, or, Black Friday's coming around, all these sorts of things. Everybody's getting ready. Things are expensive. The housing market is extremely expensive right now. I don't know how people can afford to buy a home or whatever is taking place. And again, we just got out of this shutdown, but again, it's it's nice to see it. It's nice to see gas prices starting to come down. I want to see groceries. Once you see gas prices go down, then you will see groceries come down because of all the truckers out there that are bringing in all the goods and services and supplies. You'll start to see that. It's a trickle-down effect. So hopefully it stays down. Hopefully that is the key. I want us to be exporting. I don't want us to be importing. I know that sounds like Seinfeld. He's an importer, exporter. But yeah, I hopefully we'll start to see that here pretty soon. And that would be a nice relief for all concerned, I believe. I want to get into this. A Trump-appointed federal prosecutor in Miami has launched a probe into a grand conspiracy by the Democrats led by Barack Obama to destroy Trump's political ambitions. And again, this is what we were talking about. This is what we watched with Maria Bartiromo. And it says here that Jason Redding, for the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, has subpoenaed at least 30 Obama officials involved with an investigation into Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. The New York Times is reporting this is not conspiracy. It is a conspiracy, but we're not making anything up. It's being reported by the New York Times. The Miami probe follows up a far-right theory that officials used the, quote, hoax investigation in an attempt to jail Trump after the 2016 election. Well, I mean, they did. I mean, they tried, saying that he's wiping his ass with the Constitution. I don't think I've ever seen him do anything like that. I did see when Pelosi has done some things that were a little off-putting, and I'm putting that mildly. So again, you know, these people have done some terrible things. But now Jason Redding is now issuing more than 24 subpoenas, some to officials who took part in the Russia inquiry. So far, they included ex-director of National Intelligence James Clapper, which Brett just talked about, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. We're bringing all these names back from the past. Since he launched the controversial probe, at least 2 prosecutors have quit their jobs, and when they were asked to join, according to MSC, they quit. This gentleman also has responded by inviting staff within the office to join the new unit and take on the anti-Trumpers Bloomberg claim. Go ahead and do it. It's already out there. So, again, in a rare move, the U.S. Attorney has called a meeting yesterday, of dozens of career prosecutors in major crimes unit. They're setting it up. They're setting the stage. We've talked about that before. The stage is being set for people to be prosecuted, and that's what needs to happen. Everyone is on pins and needles, a source told MSNBC. Furthermore, a grand jury has been implemented in the district on January 12th. That's my birthday. With speculation that more indictments against the Democrat officials will take place. This stage is being set. The names are growing. We may start to see something at the very beginning of the year. I hope this is televised. This has to be on C-SPAN. This has to be everywhere. It needs to be supplanted in our minds that, yes, we're so far ahead of the curve. We've known about this forever, but we need the normies and the NPCs, like Brett said, to wake up and understand, hey, everything's out there. Now, we're not talking about something that, quote unquote, is a baseless conspiracy. We're talking about something that is in concrete. It is concrete with evidence that this has taken place. And Ed Martin said it. Listen, we're going to start tacking on names. You're going to start seeing more and more names. 2026 at the beginning, again, just like Brett said, we have a few months to get these people in to and in front of a grand jury to get this ball rolling, and I can't wait. That is going to be a spectacle, Brett.
Yeah, and I also was commenting on the fact is about the laws being passed about how fast we're going to with the filibuster, because like I said, the timeline and how everything is going and stuff. It's really about the indictments and then getting to the 2020, breaking that thing. That's why we covered Friday. I covered Friday. The base discussion what Glenn Beck did about exposing the January 6th pipe bomber. But people are putting out this person's name, and apparently Julie Kelly and many others have said, no, that's not true. That's not correct. And people had to walk back, and big names, and I'm like, glad I didn't say anything. But because people are getting sued left and right, and we'll get to that. Yeah, that person who's being sued, which I have a really bad taste in my mouth about a lot of things. But look, I think that while the media is waiting to see all these indictments, they're waiting to see if their name is in there too. See, it's not just
that's why they're saying they're on pins and needles.
Right. It's not just the intelligence apparatus and all these other people that were involved inside Obama's inner circle per se. We'll see all those people. Everybody from a good swath that Obama's cabinet, they were all involved. They were all involved.
Every
All right?
single one of them.
I mean, maybe not Jay Johnson. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave him out for a second. But pretty much everybody in Obama's cabinet was involved. All right. And, if that's it, that's his whole team. That's his whole administration. And not just that. If you can prove that they did that, do we go the next level? It's not just proving that, the birth certificate and all that other stuff. That will be another time. But if you take down his administration and committing that type of level of treason, can you strike down a lot of the stuff that he has done? Or is it just that he committed treason thereafter, towards the end, working in cahoots with Rottenbox Clinton to steal an election? But I think they're going to have to go deeper because, look, if they want to pack the court with 13 people, and we just saw that's the thing.
That's the Democrat plan for sure.
That's what the plan. They want to pack it with 13 people,
correct.
13 justices.
They were trying to do that,
they want to put Puerto Rico,
you know
D.C., and other stuff as states. And
yes.
Look, that's why we got to make sure we got to do the filibuster before it's too late. But this is our only option. This is our only time. A window is closing. I think we have until probably March or April really to get these bills passed and other things in place because things are going to change. But if you start indicting people, arresting people, and then charging people, and then there's prosecutions that go through, that's great. That's fine and stuff. But again, when do we see that? I mean, are a lot of these things, are we going to see these trials or no? Are they just going to be so expedient it's done? So fast paced. Is all of them going to be superseding indictments? I don't know. We don't know what's behind the scenes. It's not James Comey and John Brennan. This is not these people. We already know Strzok and Page and what they've done. So the evidence for there will be there. They'll just basically plead not guilty and see what happens from there. But I am concerned about when you see people like the guy that threw the sandwich at the police officer in D.C. He just gets off a couple of days ago. They couldn't even indict a guy, as I say, a ham sandwich guy who threw it at a cop. They couldn't even indict him. And he gets off, and he worked at the Justice Department, but he's fired. And I find it funny in some way because, how are we really going to believe that these people they're going to roll the dice with a jury or some type of judge and stuff, and then we're hoping that they're going to be convicted of these things? I mean, I'm not even thinking that in the back of my mind, Thomas. I'm just thinking, all right, getting an indictment, arresting these people, but if no conviction comes out of it, no other information to go to the higher ups, and these people skate, then what's this all about then? What is this all about?
I think that the evidence would be so overwhelming that if you and I, we've all of us have talked about this. Everyone in the chat, everybody in Rumble, YouTube, and Pilled, and please, everybody on YouTube, hit that notification, hit that like button. Rumble, do the same thing. Pilled, help out with gold pills. Let's do it. Cash App, all that sort of stuff. Please help out. I will say this. The evidence will be so overwhelming that you may see something that we used to see in posts about clean and swift. That you may just see this move on so fast because there's really no way around it.
Yeah.
That it's so palpable and so in your face, and we've known about it for so long. If I didn't even know what was going on, and I was just a normal person that was in a jury, and I looked at this and I said, "My God, I mean, this is irrefutable. There's no way that they weren't trying to overthrow a president, to spy on a president, right. These sorts of things. It's in your face. It's written down. They have everything. And just like President Trump said, I caught them all. If it was anybody else, they wouldn't have been caught. But I caught them all, he says. So again, all that stuff's out there. We've heard about it for years and years.
Are these jury trials a farce? Do you think these jury trials, I mean, we're not going to see it. We're not going to hear about it. But are they a farce?
I don't think they're a farce, no.
No, I mean, in the sense of, like, they're not really jury trials. You know what I mean by that?
Like tribunals?
I'm just saying, I mean, I don't see people lining up. I mean, I'm just saying, how are you going to have so many people
more intense?
that are not going to be partisan, that are going to sit on the jury, knowing full well what has taken place over these years and what we see with all the demonstrations, all the craziness, that will people signing up. Like me, I want out of jury trial. Okay? I never answer my mail because I don't want any letter. I get all
You
my
want a
mail
tribunal.
digitally.
You want something more extensive.
I just
something
look
more extreme.
So if we're not going to hear about and not see all these things, that's going to be fine and stuff, and how they're going to be constructed. But we know right here what's the district court right here in where Eileen Cannon is, in Fort Pierce area, where the whole Mar-a-Lago thing was up, and then she's represent. I mean, remember she's she adheres to the 11th Circuit Court. So when you think about this, all these things that are going to happen and stuff, I mean, you're really going to see with 150 indictments. I mean, that's a lot of jury trials, right? So
But
if we're going to be
again,
expeditious,
but the evidence is so in your face that it would be. I think you can run through them.
Right.
Even if you have fantastic lawyers, which again you mentioned earlier, these people are millionaires. They are, but they committed such fraudulent, or not fraudulent, but so, lack of a better phrase, in your face crimes, just blatancy, that maybe this is a quick cleansing, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'd like. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to sit there and fight about cameras in the courtroom like the Charlie Kirk, case, where that's pushed back until January 20th. With I thought was interesting. So it's pushed back till January 20th, and they're fighting about cameras in the courtroom. I mean, I don't hear anybody like, are we going to get cameras in the courtroom for Jim Comey? I mean, we heard about the secondary pretrial, when that's going to come up. No, we haven't heard about that. We haven't heard about any. Are we going to hear about any of these things? See, I'm just keep an eye on that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying one way or another. I just think I'm just keep an eye on it. What's going on? When's this going to happen? You know?
And I also believe that when you start talking about James Clapper and you start talking about James Comey, the people that are paying attention, which is all of us in the chat and everybody watching right now, those are huge wins. But when it comes to people that really don't, care, do you think the left gives a damn about James Clapper? And they don't even know who these people are. They're very uneducated. They haven't been paying attention. But if you start going after their prince, their Kenyan prince, allegedly, if they start going after him, my God, the upheaval would be absolutely insane. Or thick-ankle Dogface. If you start going after her,
what do you think that's going to be like when
I think it'll be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
It's going to be rioting.
Dude,
and can you imagine Ron Box Clinton just being perp walked out? Like, not just she gets.
I don't think leftists like her though. I think leftists adore. I know leftists adore Obama. And that right there, if this goes
the gay and lesbian community loves Rotten Box Clinton.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think a lot of
maybe not
people
as much as they used
her.
to. But,
no, I don't think it's even a comparison between Clinton and Obama. I really, truly believe that if you start going after Obama like that and it gets to that point, which it looks as though that we're heading in that direction, you will see craziness in the streets. If that happens, not so much for thick ankles.
Can you imagine Hillary Clinton just like basically turning state's evidence onto Obama? I mean, I would love to see the transcripts of that. I mean,
well, if you saw that, then I think it would actually kind of quell it a little bit, the craziness, if you saw them do such a thing to maybe get out of a sentencing. But I think at this point, I mean, this is all 100%, and everyone said it in the chat, is treason. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the show, go ahead, hit that, let's do the 07s. Let's do the salute in the chat. Or not 0, but 07s in the chat. All over every chat. 07s in the chat. Salute. Help out. Do what you need to do, folks. We'd appreciate it. Maybe we'll figure out in the end what happened to the $65,000 worth of hot dogs, too. I don't want to get into that, but maybe that'll come down the pipeline as well. Let me get to some thank yous over here on Pilled really quick, just to show some love. I want to say thank you to Trump1 with the cookie, Miss Echo with the cookie, John R48 with the cookie, Tia with the phone. Thank you so much, Tia. Appreciate that generous donation. Trump1 with the cookie. I vote quick trials. I like that, Trump1. Anybody else out there listening, we really do appreciate it. Show that love, show that support. And yes, thank you very much. These streams have been going well. It seems like the numbers are doing good. So, do your thing. Tia, thank you for the cookie. Appreciate it. Hearts, likes, all that kind of stuff over there on YouTube, and help out over there on Rumble. By the way, everybody on Rumble listening right now, why don't you just go over to YouTube? YouTube is so much better. Go on over there. Hang out with the peeps. They miss you.
It looks great over here. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
Seeing being on Rumble now myself. I mean, I love it. I just wish more people would come. I mean, but you look at it's just the everything is just, it looks so good. You did a great job of setting it up over here. I mean, when you look on how the build is, and it's really reflexive of how it looks over here, it's streamlined perfectly.
Beautiful. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, again, everybody just show your appreciation. My comments are not showing. I'm seeing them.
Where's this at?
Don Steros. I see those. My comments are not showing. I see the comments.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you. You said a couple of things over here.
Yeah. Let's get into this, dude. Breaking. At 12:37 a.m., President Trump warns America of the damage that could happen with the Supreme Court, that they can do devastating damage by taking his right to put tariffs on countries. Return of funds in excess of $3 trillion. It's time to get loud, MAGA. The U.S. Supreme Court was given the wrong numbers. The unwind in the event of a negative decision on tariffs would be including investments made, to be made, and the return of funds in excess of $3 trillion. Out the window. Out the window, Supreme Court. If you don't come through, it's out the window. $3 trillion gone. Dunzo. Bye-bye. It would not be possible to ever make up for that kind of drubbing. This would be on the Supreme Court. This would truly become an insurmountable national security event and devastating to the future of our country, possibly non-sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So this is out there. The Supreme Court, I'm telling you, brother, I've asked people in the chat multiple times, do you think that the Supreme Court has been captured? But let's go ahead. What do you think about this Truth Social post when it comes to President Trump and also the capturing of the Supreme Court?
Well, the way I look at it, the way I break this down about the Supreme Court,
Sure.
There is precedent. All right. There's
Okay.
1939, 1977. The big sticking point was Section 232, which is basically the viability of the authority to rule to impose the tariffs, which imports national security, to protect national security. It was used to block the flood of the aluminum and foreign Fugazi steel that came in, that President Trump did in the first term, that was crippling American industries. And the Section 232 that came out of the 1970s, I think Nixon did it. If the Supreme Court ruled against this, that would mean that future presidents, not just President Trump, future presidents, would need permission from unelected bureaucrats, let's just say in some way, and that could also be in the House and the Senate, from what? To basically take away his Article 2 powers, which it's ridiculous as it sounds, and remove the economic block of security, which has President Trump and Scott Bessent both said equals national security under 13848. I think realistically, the Supreme Court right now, President Trump is putting this out. He's actually putting them on blast and saying, for some people to understand, is that, are we anticipating, are we foreboding, are we foreshadowing the idea, the very thought, if they were to take away President Trump's Article 2 powers in this possession, because what was arguing, all right, what they were attacking was that I think Sauer did a good job, the Solicitor General. He was pushing back and saying, look, the President Trump has given back powers to Congress, because Congress is the one that defines tax and tariffs per se, right. All right? And that's their powers. But in this case, what he's saying is, this is different. We're under some type of national emergency, and we're under multiple national emergencies. There have been multiple executive orders of national emergencies.
Yes.
In fact, since 2021, we're under 10 currently. 4 are pervading for the last several years, and they just added another 3. So, and since 1979, 48. So when you really think about it, how these things are put forth. If these things were codified, then the Supreme Court would say, all right, well, there's nothing we could do about it. It's already done. But the option that they're trying to take away is basically kneecap President Trump's Article 2 powers and saying, look, he either has to share this with Congress or give this back to them, and then they will define what a tariff is. You heard Rand Paul, tariffs are just basic taxes, which they are. All they are is basically import and export taxes. All right. You get a car that's shipped over here from Japan, that's a Lexus or Toyota that's not made in the United States.
Correct.
Well, there's a tariff on it. And who gets to pay the tariff? You and I. All right. Same thing when we ship things over there and vice versa. So the tariffs are basically a roadblock in some way, all right, to protect us in a lot of different ways. And it's also used as a negotiation, a bargaining tool. I think the Supreme Court, is not looking at it in the manner that President Trump was dealing with, that he is using this as not just an economic security, national security model. I think they're overlooking that. They're trying to say is they're trying to define it in the basic terms of what a tariff and a tax is and what the certain precedent laws that were put in place. If they were to do this, then President Trump would declare the Insurrection Act, because that means that the Supreme Court has been captured. Now, think about how many cases right now. He's about 73, 74%. Just in the last month, out of all these cases, 24 cases out of in the last several months, the Supreme Court, all President Trump's wins. He just lost 2 in September. He's got another 4 going. So he's on a track record here. But this is the big one. This is the big enchilada. And we don't know where some of these conservative justices go with this in regards to this. My guess is I'm saying I'm leaning in a 5-4 majority opinion, meaning Alito will be a majority opinion giving the positive opinion, not the dissenting opinion.
Correct.
Of that, why this will go forward. Will they have certain levels of conditions? It's possible they could set that and revisit this to come back at another period of time.
I have a question really quick.
Yeah.
From AP says, what the hell is the point of an executive order if courts can block it?
Well, that's the point. Yeah, exactly. Well, they can give injunctions, okay? They can give injunctions, and then President Trump can take them to the Supreme Court. I'll give you an example. Look at the executive orders when he wants to send in the military. This was the big one. And how many times that this went to the Supreme Court on several different injunctions.
Correct.
I think out of the 24, I counted 7, okay? And that's just different locations. He just won now that that a federal court now, I think it's out of Portland, he's allowed to send troops in there. All these individual injunctions that go to federal court, circuit court, appeals court and stuff, they have, it happens in this manner and by executive order. Since they're not codified, meaning they haven't been passed in law by the House to the Senate, from the Senate back, and then signed to the president's desk, is where we are right now. A lot of executive orders that are on the books that aren't codified, okay, unlike the Patriot Act, which was passed in 2003, when you think about that, that's still on the table. We still have ambles of that. You have so many different
We live through it every day.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they utilize the Patriot Act to censor us, okay? The 702s? That's from the Patriot Act.
Facts.
Getting the FISA warrants, okay, with the Fugazi signings and false information that he gave it to these fake judges who just signed off on all this stuff. That's part of the Patriot Act. All the stuff that led to the Russia hoax, that's part of the Patriot Act.
Facts.
They used everything at the Patriot Act against President Trump and against you and I. So we're still living in it. We're still living in that
Every
time
day.
warp every day until they remove that. So that's why it's important to codify his executive orders, Executive Order 13818 and Executive Order 13848, which is the foreign interference. And I also think the monetary thing, the banking thing, I think that's going to be on the tables right now with the recent investigation with JP Morgan and what they have done with foreign interference, with the election and with debanking, deplatforming, and destroying people's lives and not allowing people with Chase Bank and other people kicking them out. That's on the table right now. But as for this, it's hard. It's hard to guess. I'm only saying it because I want to be positive that it'll be 5-4. I would be shocked, Tom, if it came back at a 7-2 decision and one of the liberal judges or two sign with the conservatives on this. Because this is about tariffs and taxes, and look how many people are pissed off about it. Well, what did President Trump just say? He just said, maybe we'll just give out $2,000 to everybody with the tariffs and stuff, and percent comes back. Well, it's not going to be a check in the way you think. It's going to be all these tax breaks. See? Remember, he likes to say one thing and do another.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the Democrats getting into control of this and saying, oh, wait a minute, so we can take the tariff money.
You don't want to telegraph it.
Yeah, you don't want to give the illegals and the trannies tariff money, which is not for it. He's bringing down the system. We're not paying for the corporation. Do you understand that? We're not paying for the corporation. He's bringing money in. So when the corporation goes down, we're not paying $38 trillion back. He's leveraging them. That's why he threw out the 50-year mortgage. That's all it is. This is what I'll give you the expression with this. He's bringing this down in a different fashion. He's talking dialectically in a different manner. He's giving you one example here and another example here. This is how he did it in the 80s. He leveraged everything. That's how he did it. And is it working now? Will it work now? Well, if you bring the banks down, force them to lower the interest rates, it's possible. But is it ludicrous over long term? Yes. You give a couple of years in there, you get equity, you flip the house, you make some money on it, and you dip out. I'm a realtor, I know. So it's not like it's hard pressed. I mean, it's like, who wants to be in that long term? Well, you're a fool if you are, because you're paying compound interest on it. I think what President Trump is saying to the Supreme Court and Scott Bessent, who sat there, he said, look, just be careful. This is going to come back and haunt you. So if they are being blackmailed or cajoled, enforcing this because it could crush everything, well, this is one way it could crush the system, Thomas. So think about it. The system would collapse very soon because of their ruling, and then we're out of the corporation. This is one way to bring it down. Back to the
republic.
When you think it's one way to bring it down. I'm throwing that viability.
It's very. We have some great comments coming in here on YouTube. Facts matter. Old meme. Trump pointed at Barack Hussein Obama saying, "When I am done with you, it will be like you never existed." And that's what I was trying to get to earlier. I was trying to get back to that, but that makes a lot of sense to me. Dawn says, glad to see you back on YouTube, Thomas. It's been a while. I usually lurk. Just had a comment about O and H. I get it. Allison Peoples, you let your state go to the Dems, you'll never get it back. That is 100% true. Yeah. I mean, it is, it will be a constant fight. Look at Pennsylvania. Look at all these places that kind of flip-flop back and forth. It's really bad when the Dems take over, for sure. Facts Matter also said, Dawn, when she said that, talking about Hildebeest, that she threatened her own minions. They turned on her at that point, in my opinion. Listen, nobody likes thick ankles, Miss Clinton. They do not like, I'm telling you, liberals don't like her. The left does not like her. The View, I think, may not even agree with a lot of stuff that she's done. But I swear to you, if you touch their beautiful Kenyan prince, allegedly, you're going to have an uproar like you've never seen
because they check the boxes. They're gay, they're black, they're trans.
AP, yeah. Look at California, absolutely, for sure. If you're enjoying the show, guys, please go ahead and help out with whatever you can. Hit the like button, hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube, so you do get the note that we are going live Tuesday through Friday. Get stoked on that. Tia, again, thank you so much for the phone. Appreciate that. Giant salute. Let's get some 07s in the chat. I'd really appreciate it. Casey, Snowman 485. I feel like you're black-pilled, my friend. Come on. Don't get so black-pilled. I know times are tough. But I mean, God, we could be back in 2021.
Who's black-pilled? Me or you?
No. Casey, Snowman 485.
Oh,
I was saying,
what's up?
Yeah, brother. Don't
don't get it.
It's not a good
it's
thing.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay to be. It's okay to feel this way. You're dealing with so many different. Like I think there's so many. I know there's cognitive deficit on a lot of things, but you can hold multiple competing viewpoints simultaneously. You could be all supportive, all in on Trump and MAGA, and disagree with some of these things. Okay,
it's not a crime.
Right?
It's called having an opinion.
And don't feel like you're forced. Well, if you don't agree, you're out. If you don't, it's not like you're not like in some type of what is it? Thrill kill code. It's not like that stuff. I mean, listen, don't be forced. Don't feel like in some way. Have your own opinion. Have your own thoughts. Okay, know where you stand. Or draw the line in the sand of what you feel. You could be one way or another. but it doesn't have to be someone else's way. Okay? Just basically keep your mind about how you like the 50-year mortgage thing. Okay? There are multiple competing viewpoints of why he's putting out there. I call it dialectical thinking, and I think there's a reason for it, and I think people need to understand it. It's a paradox. It's self-contradictory at the same time. He's basically saying, hey, look, you can get into a 50-year mortgage at a lower rate with some money down, all right, that you will not normally have with a rental, because over the course of a couple of years, when the interest rates come down, and they will come down, all right, you'll be able to flip that home, pay less, make money on it, and then go into the next place. And maybe not take a 50-year mortgage. Maybe take a 15-year mortgage. Maybe take a 30-year mortgage. Take an ARM, which is adjustable rate. See, they're all competing things. All right. Yes, I understand that the 50-year thing is problematic, but I think you have to understand is that people need to understand that the way this operation and the synthesis works, the way he's giving you 15-year loans, giving this, he's saying that these systems that are built on the enslaved indebtment that keeps you there, this debt serfdom, as they call it, or what does he call it? I had it written down. Financial sharecropping. All right. It's all a rigged game. The banks rig it. The loaners rig it. They all rig it because they don't want. They know you're not going to make more money, meaning you're not going to make more money from businesses. You're not going to have more money from this. So what they're going to do is they're going to loan you more money, extend the chain of what? Debt to you from 30 to 50. All right. And so it looks like you're winning. You get a lower interest rate, or excuse me, a lower payment. The interest rates will come down. The interest rate's the most important thing. If you get it down from 6.2 right now, all right, to about 4 to 3, that's good. Maybe 0. That would be great. Maybe forget about it. Then you would have a housing shortage because everybody would want to buy.
Absolutely.
But right now, they're going to have to be at a nominal rate. You get it down to 4, get in. Now, you don't have to take a 50. But what it is that it's expanding the debt consolidation. And what it is that, what's the term that I was told? The slave thinks you're the master the slave thanks the master for extending the increasing chain link, lengthening the time of the loan. So you think, oh, I got freedom. I'm not have to pay $3,000 rent. I can pay $1,500 for my mortgage as long as I put 20% down. But here's the key. As a realtor, I know a lot of people don't have 20% to put down on a $300,000 home. No. All right. They put down 12% or 10%. Some people don't have enough, but you don't want to be house poor either. So you weigh this out systematically by locality. Okay. By how much money you make, how much you can afford. There's so many other preambles. And, look, as much as I don't like the guy, what's the Daily Wire guy? What's his name? The Jewish guy?
Shapiro.
Shapiro. He said, he goes, look, if you can't afford to live in New York, you shouldn't live there. Well, that's the worst thing you can say. It's not people's fault that the price of everything went up. It's the most expensive city, but I think San Fran is more expensive than New York. I will say this, though. That's the wrong attitude to have. You need to fix the problem at hand. But that problem's not going away. The problem is you have communists and socialists that are running New York City. You have a communist governor. You have a communist mayor. So that's the problem. You get rid of those people, put the right people in there. You could fix the problem by getting what? New legislation in there and curtailing all this problem. Not telling people to dip out and run, but they should have did that a long time ago because of what they were seeing or forecasting in the future. That's the point. I live in Florida because I love Florida. But is Florida over the last 5-6 years gotten really expensive? Yes, it has. Super expensive. I watch properties in South Palm Beach, okay, from explode from after 1920 and then the stolen election. By 2021, 2022, they almost doubled and tripled. What, the homes allegedly doubled or tripled?
The election.
Oh, the legend. Yeah, but by 2021, that time, I was watching homes double and triple. A home that I saw at $300,000 went to $600,000. They were exploding. Banks were just basically, hey, this home is worth it. I don't know where they were calculating this. I still don't get the idea how banks calculate how much homes are really worth realistically when you really think about it. It's just like an automated AI system that I think is now generated out. Well, this is the home here. This is your home here. And the way they get to these numbers is ridiculous. It really is. And that's why we're stuck in this system. I think Could we get a banking collapse? Will the system collapse if this is happening? Well, if the Supreme Court says, no, that's in the tariffs and things collapse, how are you going to pay back $3 trillion, Thomas?
Can't.
It's over.
It's over. We got some thank yous out there that I definitely need to get to. Some really nice gestures out there, guys, and I really mean this. When it comes to Trusty Turner, thank you for the cookie. Tia, again with the phone, thank you so much. I appreciate that. ep.9 with the ship. Oh, great show, and thank you. I'm not very interested anymore, but you two have got me interested again. Thank you both. Tia, thank you for the can as well. I mean, that's huge, AP, for sure. I mean, AP comes back and says after that, let me get down there to it really quick. It says, where did this person say it? He said, no problem. I've been watching you for years, and I remember you on YouTube before Trump's first term. Thank you so much. Yeah. Again, it's no problem. I'm interested again. It's my way of thanking you. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think people need a spark. I think people need to understand that there is a ton of blackpilling going on. A lot of people are just like, it's all President Trump. I can't handle this anymore. And it's not that.
Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? You're going to vote for Biden again? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to vote for AOC, Horsemouth, in 2028? I mean, what? Because I'm not going to vote
Gavin
for Vance?
Newsom.
I'm like, I don't like Vance. If it's Vance and AOC, who are you going to vote for?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I'd rather you not vote at all. I'd rather you not vote at all, to be honest.
There you go.
Let's move.
There you go.
Let's keep going. Here we go. So you wanted to bring this up early. We've got to be careful about this, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Kash Patel's girlfriend
Just
files bizarre Mossad honeypot lawsuit. She claims podcaster Eliza Schaefer, who I believe works with... come on. I know. The Gateway Pundit. I believe he is partnered with them. Accused her of working as an agent of foreign government. And now Patel is apparently suing his own FBI legal resources to take him down. Breaking: Kash Patel and his girlfriend have weaponized the legal system against me and my media company, Rift TV. Maybe he's not with Gateway Pundit anymore. In an unprecedented case of lawfare that will not be taken lightly, allegedly using Kash's own legal resources, insane details are about to be exposed. Game on, he says. So I don't know if Eliza Schaefer, I know, got really big and then got put on to Gateway Pundit. I don't know if he is still with them. I could look that up as we talk. But again,
I think he's got his own company. He does partner with somebody. I was looking that up.
Yeah.
But, and all he did was make a reflexive statement about an article that someone else put out that he was talking about. He even said in the subtext of the, let's just say the subpoena or whatever he got, the letter
he's being sued.
He's being sued that the letter said that he didn't even
bucks.
say. Yeah, but he didn't even say anything. But you were basically taking something of that and sharing it. So basically, all he did was comment on it and share this as just a discussion, and he's being sued about it. That's a little much. If you're admitting that he didn't do anything and wasn't actually slandering you or wasn't actually libeling you in such a matter to accuse you of such thing, then what did he do? That's where I'll stand with that. And he has a First Amendment right to make a comment about that. Just like she has a First Amendment right, okay, Alexis Wilkins, all right, to defend herself from Slybone Lander. There have been many people, and that's why I've done that on my show multiple times, and I said, we're not saying that. I'm not going this. I'm like, you can make your own opinion of. But if you have no evidence to make conversation in that manner, you should not be slandering or libeling somebody in that fashion, because it's all going to come back to you. And now, knowing full well that her boyfriend, okay, is the FBI director, you might want to also think about like critiquing that in a matter. You might get a knock at the door. Does it sound problematic? Well, she's not his wife. So that's why it's problematic. It's his girlfriend that he flew on an FBI jet to go see her at a concert. But he has every mandated authority to do that because Chris Wray has done that. James Comey has done that, meaning they fly and use because Congress has mandated the jet. So they have to fly. As for this guy, Schaefer, I think, it's just ridiculous because he wasn't slandering her at all. All right. I guess that she didn't like the idea that this conversation that was being discussed was being shared in such a manner that they were being talked to about this. And maybe he wins the lawsuit in some way. But if you're using FBI resources to go after, to help take down someone like him or other people for money, what happened to Cash Patel? I'm not saying even Cash Patel is involved with this. You don't even know this. Again, you don't want to fixate on something you cannot touch per se. You're only going by what Schaefer is saying, that, hey, look, I got this letter. I'm being sued, $5 million. I could lose everything because of all this stuff. Well, I'm sure you're going to do everything you can to defend yourself. I mean, if the letter is saying you didn't libel, slander her, or accuse her of being something of a whatever it was, would they say a honeypot or something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever that. Yeah. I mean, whatever and stuff. I mean, I see this all over the place. I mean, it's just like, I mean, look, if you people think that that's true per se, I mean, don't you think the FBI, it's his girlfriend. You don't think the NSC, other national security apparatuses go through a whole thing? Isn't she? I know that she come over from, I forget what country she came over from. It's not Syria. I forget the country. Starts with an S though.
Right, but you don't think they
Serbia,
did a background check and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I'm saying
they didn't run checks on her before any of this happened.
I can't imagine he didn't. I can't imagine he did.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that is
think
unbelievable. If you talk about, I mean, we're talking about being captured and stuff. If that ever comes out, I mean, God in heaven. I mean, wouldn't be good. Let's move on from this.
I just feel bad for Schaefer in this way because he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. All he did was repost something that he was commenting on, and he got dinged for that.
Real quick, like,
yeah.
President Trump says Marjorie Taylor Greene has lost her way. I think she has lost her way. President Trump just took aim at Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene over recent comments she made about his presidency. While speaking to reporters, President Trump called Marjorie a nice woman who has sadly lost her way. He also accused her of catering to the left. Watch for yourself. Let's take a listen.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a big ally of yours, said that she would rather see you focused on nonstop domestic policy meetings here at the White House instead of nonstop foreign policy meetings. What's your response to her saying that, and also saying that grocery prices are up and not down, as you've said?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman, but I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think. But I have to view the presidency as a worldwide situation, not locally. I mean, we could have a world that's on fire where wars come to our shores very easily if you had a bad president. We had a horrible president, and we ended up with Russia, Ukraine, and we ended up with other disasters, too. Don't forget, I put out 8 wars, 9 to come. I think I'll get the other one taken care of. But I put out 8 wars. And look at the damage that Russia, Ukraine has done to us as a country. I mean, we spent $350 billion. We're not spending any money anymore. Now they pay us through NATO. I got NATO to go from 2% to 5%. Well, that's very important. When you're president, you really sort of have to watch over the world because you're going to be dragged into it otherwise. You're going to be dragged into a world war. I think if I weren't president, first of all, that war would have never happened if I was president. And if I weren't president, that war could have led to World War III. It won't. It's not going to anymore. But when I first got in, I said, wow, this situation could lead to World War III. And I got NATO together. I got everybody together. But with all of that, I passed a great, big, beautiful bill, which is the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. So when somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's now catering to the other side, I don't know what, I guess she's, got some kind of an act going, but I'm surprised at her. But when somebody like Marjorie goes over and starts making statements like that, it shows she doesn't know. I don't devote a lot of my time.
So, so from Alphabet, this is a new name. I'm just going to say Alphabet really quick over there on Pill. Gee, all she asks is for no more foreign aid. Trustee Turnip says she was a military brat. She is American. Oh, no. Trustee Turnip, are you talking about Cash's girlfriend? Okay. But yeah, Alphabet says, gee, all she asks is for no more foreign aid to be sent to other countries. She's lost her way. I don't know. Watch her interview with Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon is pretty up to date with a lot of this stuff if you don't know who he is. But he's saying she's going to run. She's going to try and run.
You got to send that to me. I didn't see that with Tim Dillon.
Yeah, she's going to try and run, and he's backing her. And so I don't know. You know, again, you're starting to see a lot of division. I don't like seeing it. I do trust President Trump for sure.
Well, I mean, look, she's very hypocritical and opportunistic. Clearly that she's moving to a different position, and she used President Trump and MAGA, a bully pulpit, to go to the net, or, you know, to a bounce spring to move forward. And yeah, she sounds a lot like Tucker and Nick Fuentes, and she's towing that line and stuff. And she's talking about economics. She's went after Mike Johnson, who was unpopular. So when you think about that, she's hitting all the right marks for all the right people to throw herself into the mix. So yeah, because she sees that very soon, that I do believe that the vice president will, if he's going to run, I don't even know if he's going to run, might have a problem in 2028 and 2027, 28, or 2028 per se. And I think there's going to be a whole host of people running in there. They're going to throw their names in there. I think Homeland Secretary is going to run too. I think there's going to be a whole host of people that are going to be running in 2028. And so why not better position yourself in there, because you can, you know, nix out certain people. Maybe you could be a VP candidate. I don't know. I don't know what entirely she is, but in the beginning, she definitely had moments when she did that Forgiato Blue video, like she was sitting on like she was a queen, and he's like doing this rap video with her. I was like, oh my God.
Very cringe.
Yeah, it was just like, as much as, like, you know, Laura Loomer pisses me off, she's been 100% correct about everything about, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she went on The View. She went on other things. She sounded very diplomatic about what she's talking about, what the plight of what American men and women are feeling across the board. So it's empathetic, it's sympathetic, and it resonates. So it's hard to say, hey, in some way, yeah, it's not that there's a lot of people. Yeah, enough with AIPAC, enough with Israel, enough of that, enough of this. There's a lot of people who basically feel that way. I feel that way about Byron Donalds. Maybe you shouldn't run for governor now. If you basically want to tout the line of Levin and Shapiro and all these people who want to censor free speech, I don't want you as my governor. If you're gonna align with Randy Fine. So she obviously has moved into that position where she says, I can fit into this because that's how I feel. That's why Thomas Massey's popular. I'm not a Thomas Massey fan. He's a never Trumper, but obviously he might run in 2028 as well. I think he's got to have a hard time with his position come up, because they're going to throw a ton of money at other candidates to probably beat him in a primary. Go ahead.
It says right here that recently MTG has become somewhat of a polarizing figure among MAGA conservatives. She's broken with congressional Republicans on several issues, including the Epstein files, Israel, and the government shutdown. Last week, she criticized President Trump for, in her words, focusing on foreign affairs and not helping Americans. And you're right. I forget who said it in the chat. Alphabet. Yeah, saying that, you know, all she did was say, you know, she doesn't want any more foreign aid sent out, and now she's, I guess, a shill. You know, I'm not there yet.
I wonder how Brian Glenn's gonna like that. That's her boyfriend, and he works for OAN.
Oh, somebody said he worked for RSBN.
No, he works for not OAN or RSBN. He works for RAV. My bad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's you know, there are these things, and I do have problems with the Epstein files. I do have a problem with our friends. And I also have a problem with the government shutdown and all these things. And I do not like, you know, focusing on foreign affairs. I don't like any of those things. I like what she says right there. And I have my opinion, and you guys can have your opinion as well.
I mean, is she moving to the middle? She's moving to an independent, or moving to not a left, but moving, because from
that's
the old
not left
establishment.
At all. No,
it's not. No. I mean, she's moving to more of a independent libertarian type of thing. Like a lot of these people, Like I see Shipwreck on X, and who interviewed her. She just comes out of the blue and she's interviewing her. I mean, because she feels the same way, a mom with kids and stuff. So, I mean, what's relatable is the kitchen table economics, and we all understand it. It's what I wanted to get into when you show that video about Bill O'Reilly. But, you know, overall, the overarching thing is that she's positioning herself into boxes that people can feel, let's just say, a voice with her in some way. Like, I think in the last 2 weeks, Byron Donalds has done himself a very disservice. Aligning with Levin, his thing, people like, no, he's going to win Florida. Good luck with that. I don't think so at all. If you have to disavow these people. You cannot sit there, shill for AIPAC, tell people you could censor people like whoever because you don't like the discussion about Israel. And this is going to be a big thing because you can think you get the Jewish vote out of Boca and some parts out of Miami. Good luck with that, man. I don't know what's going on here. We have to revisit it. There are many other people that are going to run, and maybe we have to think about voting for Casey DeSantis. I don't know if I want to do that, but my God, what's going to happen? Are they coming after Florida? H-1B visas? This guy pushing? Man, we really need to take a second look about this. I'm worried about what's going to happen in Florida come next year.
We'll go into this, too, as you guys can see here. Let me blow it up for you a little bit so you're able to see. Boom. Again, breaking Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel submitted documents to Congress showing that the Clinton Foundation accepted donations from both foreign and domestic sources seeking political influence. This came out this morning at 9:41. We started off with Barack Obama. We started talking about these things. And I'll also read you this on Barack Obama really quick. Barack Hussein Obama. Where was that at? Right here. I'll go ahead and read this. President Donald J. Trump, speaking for myself today, I would be fine if you arrested Barack Obama for treason. If what Tulsi Gabbard says is accurate, you have your constitutional duty to do the authority and arrest him. Make America great again. Happy Veterans Day. So, again, we've got Clinton on the table that we see here with Attorney General Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have submitted documents to Congress showing the Clinton Foundation accepted donations from both foreign and domestic sources seeking political influence. That was putting out the rhetoric, going into the media, going into Russia, all these things, and they ran with it, and all of it was a lie. So, again, I mean, you got some big names on this table.
So where's the indictment? Where's her indictment?
Where is the indictment is a fantastic
Where's the indictment?
question.
If you had this
fantastic
information,
question.
Is she part of the 150 that are going to come out this year? Because I remember reading somewhere that it was going to happen somewhere around October 30th on a Monday. Yeah, but that time has passed. So has she already gotten her indictment, and it's about the revealing of the indictment? These people just get a pass for so long, or it's already been done. I don't know. What version of her is going to show up with this indictment? That's another thing. Have you seen the new look of her? I mean, she got a facelift, or one of the versions of her got a facelift.
She needs an ankle lift. To be honest,
she needs to take Ozempic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's going to work anyway. Look, if you had this evidence, what are we waiting for? You just indicted Clapper. You got Brennan, Comey, all these other people. What are you waiting for? I mean, when's this? I mean, everybody's going to be frothing at the mouth when she gets indicted. Or according to you, you don't think so. You don't think anybody's going to make a big deal about this.
No, I mean, I'm talking about in comparison when it comes to Clinton.
Well, of course, Obama
Hillary,
was the president.
Obama, you know, that's
I mean, she was Secretary of State. She was Senator. I mean, is it going to? So yeah, obviously, it's not going to set off like DEFCON 4, DEFCON 3, DEFCON 1. No. It's not going to be that. You know, I mean, this one thing is indicting a president. Another thing is, but they already indicted a president.
Black man.
That's a gay black man.
Well,
allegedly.
Yeah,
That's
not a thing. We can't do that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a thing. That is definitely a thing.
All the check marks. All the check marks.
All the check marks are marks. But again, I don't think much of the black community even gives two craps about Hillary thick-ankled dog-faced Clinton.
No,
I just don't think that is a factor by any means. I have noticed that Twitten 828. My comments show up on the chat, but not on Thomas's main chat screen. I have noticed that, and I don't know why. I may have to ask one of my guys to figure that out. Why is that happening? We'll have like an hour and a half show, and there'll be 4 comments. But all of you are commenting here, and I don't know why that is not in the comment section when the show's over. I don't understand that. I don't know what that is. I don't think it's on my side. Death by Astonishment. Holy shit, it's been 5 years. Death by Astonishment got that notification. So, yeah, hey, Death by Astonishment. Click that notification bell, my friend, so that you know when we go live. Tuesday through Friday, 4 p.m. So get stoked on that. Yeah. And follow me on my True Social and my Telegram. It's at True Reporting on Truth Social and True Reporting posts on Telegram. I dropped the link that we're going live, so make sure you do that. Last but not least, you brought this up earlier, and this is pretty interesting. Live on News Nation, Bill O'Reilly looked directly into the camera and said this: "I hope the White House is watching."
Or your health. The problem is, and this is simple from a simple man, that some staples of life are far too expensive. Food, insurance.
Housing.
You want to insure your house or your car or your health. It is way out of line now, way out of line. And those are the things that drain the family treasury. And people are getting angrier and angrier and angrier because they don't know why it's going up so much and so fast. So what President Trump should do is to appoint a cost of living czar, someone who would go out a couple of times a week and say, these are the problems, here's what we're trying to do to solve them. But fundamentally, Leland, the American economy is strong because consumers are still spending. Some of them are spending money they don't have. They're riding themselves into debt. But the consumer is spending so much that President Trump can get away with the tariffs. Tariffs are basically an admission charge for countries abroad to sell their stuff here, which they have to do because Americans buy more stuff than anybody else on earth by far. And now, because we do that, the tariffs have been successful in Donald Trump's eyes, so he's giving back our money because we made it happen. We consumers made the tariffs happen, which is kind of fair. On the other hand, you could say this is a giveaway, just like the Democrats are giving away everything. Trump is trying to play that book.
Right.
So you've got to basically be watching. But I hope the White House is watching right now. Cost of living czar.
Cost of living czar is maybe what we need. Somebody just to keep an eye on things when it comes to all of this. That people are spending a lot, that this administration needs to understand that there's still a ton of struggle, and I understand that the past administration threw us into inflation like we've never seen before. Gas prices, groceries, housing market, et cetera, et cetera. And that was their plan the entire time, was to literally put us into a frustration state that we would never, ever be able to get out of, and then focus only on the government to take care of us. That's the end goal is, listen, let's bring in cyber. Let's bring in, oh my God, what is Silicon Valley? Let's go ahead and bring all those boys in, all the AI groups. Let's go ahead and bring that in, and then guess what? The government will pay for you. Everybody's gonna lose their jobs to AI, which I think is bullshit. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not there. I don't think it's going to be there in any of our lifetimes watching right now. Probably not even of my son's lifetime. I don't believe that that's going to happen. That all these jobs are going to be taken, and then all of a sudden we have to fall in line with the government to be like, here's $60,000 a year, live and become an idiocracy. Just the movie, the Mike Judge movie. I don't see us becoming that, especially with my son's generation. They don't want that. They are, if you've ever heard the term, they are groypers. If you don't know what that is, look into that. My son doesn't even know what that is. It's already instilled in him. By me? No. By his peers. They're all like that. And they none of them drink. They all work out. They don't care about anything that the left says. They bully them. That's what it is. That is exactly what they are. It's instilled in them. They grew up that way. They grew up internet children. Yeah, and I understand that all of us are millennials and a lot of us are boomers and Gen X, that we grew up in the streets with, bicycles and coming home as the street lights turn on and all these sorts of things. They didn't grow up that way. Guess what? They grew up on 4chan. They grew up on Call of Duty and all these sorts of things on these chats that, are behind the scenes where they can say whatever. They don't care about PC. They're not pushovers. They're not any of these sorts of things. When you start listening to younger people's programming, you start to hear about it. And I'm not talking about programming like MK Ultra, just their programs. The stuff that they watch, bro, it is not even close. It's not. They're not pussified at all. They are 100% like, screw all of this. Let's just go to level 10. Let's push it. Let's push the envelope. That's how they are, and I agree. I think that we need somebody out there talking, coming to us, saying, hey, Mr. President, people are still struggling really badly, and things need to, we just shines of light here and there, as we spoke about earlier about gas prices and so on and so forth. What do you think about what Bill O'Reilly said, Brett? I used to hate him when I was younger, but I'm kind of feeling this.
Sounds like he's getting old and losing his voice. But
sure,
I think managing the economic affordability discussion, they have to do a better job. That's why Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like she's moved in a different position. No, she's speaking out in this way. And many other people are hip to it. I mean, they're picking up on this. And there are other people trying to fill this void. So what O'Reilly's saying is that to manage the discussion, to leverage it is important. It's about enlightening, highlighting, informing the public about cheap, accessible, inexpensive, low-budget things that the administration can be doing, that should be doing, that are telling people on a daily basis.
Daily basis is very good.
Because they don't hear it, they don't see it. They just see him come back from these trips, give $20 billion to Argentina, do all these different things. We got a flotilla down in Venezuela. We don't know what's going on down there. It's all classified. I mean,
we'll never know.
We're going to go. We'll never know. I think it's more than I know. I kind of have an idea what it is. But look, I just think that in order to get ahead of the narrative of this, we know that things are, in some perspectives, what President Trump speaks about in a general basis, the numbers don't lie. They don't lie. They are coming down. But not everywhere and not everyone is equally sharing in that feeling, that sentiment that is expressive in these numbers that President Trump is telling. All right. And so to poo-poo it aside, I think is a big no-no for him. I think it's a bad thing for him to do, because he needs to recognize that other people are filling this vacuous state with information that are basically, whether they were MAGA or still MAGA, or they're just basically doing this on their own and positioning themselves for other things because they have other things in mind for other unintended consequences. I think Bill O'Reilly needs, right. I think that, look, we have a border czar. We have this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having somebody who specifically goes out. I mean, he's got Scott Bessent, the Treasury. This is the guy. He is the guy. I mean, look at how CNN and NBC tried to teach him or educate him, and he lambasted him. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about Argentina, about we lend them $20 billion, and we understand about the pay swap, and about we make a profit on this, all right? And that profit comes back tenfold. And Bessent was explaining why we're doing this. Why do we need a foothold in Latin America? Because there's other availing things. Did anybody think that we have another Cuban Missile Crisis that's going on in Venezuela? Have you thought about that? Or in Colombia? Have you thought about that? No, you haven't thought about that because there are other things that are going on that most people, that's why he talks about the dome and other things. There is something happening down there that I don't think people realize. And it's just as bad as the trafficking, the drugs, this transnational corporations, they are at our back door in that hemisphere. So Bessent is saying that we have to fix our Latin American partnership so we don't have to go to war with these people, which will cost us more money. We lend them money. They pay us back, all right? There's going to be new elections in Chile and this and that, and say, all right, Brett, well, how does that help me? How does that help me as an American consumer? See, that's what people see. They see Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, talk about what's happening there, but not really talking about kitchen table economics that people can digest and process and to deal with home. Bill O'Reilly's 100% right. While Bessent might be the guy for the Treasury while they're trying to take down the Fed, and you want to make fun of the Fed chairman, Mr. Too Late, always on time, or what have you. Who cares? They don't care about that. Semantics aside, you want people to be leveled with about how we can fix the individual, the macrocosm problem we have generally with the distribution. Okay, the transference between the distribution inside our agricultural and the farming and what we're seeing right now inside these supermarkets per se, these food distributions. We need to understand why the prices. We have an idea, we have a view because of SNAP, because you have too many people that were put on SNAP that were sucking up all the stuff and they're buying all the stuff, and so the prices go up. But they're buying garbage. We need explanations to know why our meats are 3 times higher than what they were the previous year. We need to understand why fish is 2 times higher or more than what it is previous years. I understand about the idea of making sure you go to different places to go get different things. You should not be stuck in just going to Publix or Whole Foods or Sprouts or Trader Joe's. There are other markets to go to. And you basically are going to have to do your own due diligence to figure out what's the best economic affordability that you could feed your family. I mean, that's the way. The government's not going to hold your hand. If you want small government, you're going to have to do it yourself. But I just think an economic czar with an advisory point of view of just breaking this down in these different states to help people where we are right now at this time to mitigate all this other nonsense is happening, I think is perfect. I think it's impactful. I think it's important, and it might be at the right time. You don't have to do it for the remaining year, but do it for the holidays, and then from there, then kind of just shift. I think so. I think that would be important. At least people would have the feeling and sentiment that at least they feel like their government is working for them or trying to. Because right now, we don't see the government working for anybody right now at all. It's all garbage. The senators, the congressmen, they're all garbage. If it never opened up again, I don't think anybody would care other than the people that are sucking off the tit and basically destroying everything that we have our lot in life.
Let me, and that was a great point, and I totally agree with you. Let me go ahead and end on a good note. I had a new student in my Algebra 2 class. She was homeschooled previously, and this was her first experience in a public school. 2 days in, she's already unenrolling. I'm not surprised, given our last conversation or words when I asked her what she thought. And in quotes, she said, "I wanted to see what all the hype was about and maybe go to prom, but this isn't for me. Most of class is spent waiting for everyone to open their Chromebooks or figure out what to do after the teacher has literally said it 5 times. And I can't use the bathrooms because of all the vaping." I knew it wasn't going to work when she brought back an entire unit packet meant to be completed over 2 weeks the next day. And no, she didn't use AI. Excuse me. I asked her a few questions and she explained the most difficult concepts verbally. She even offered her advice on how the sequencing of the packet could be improved. Homeschool for the win. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that our public schools are a complete failure. They're extremely dangerous. I'm very fortunate that my son is homeschooled. But again, public schools are just not great at all. Nathan Davis says on YouTube, public school, the soft tyranny of lowered expectations. It is absolutely insane. I couldn't even imagine what the curriculum is. It ain't good, Brett.
No, it's not. It's not good at all. I mean, think about what they have done to the minority community. They don't educate them. They don't teach them, especially in these impoverished, in these impoverished, poor neighborhoods of the ghettos all across the United States from the 70s. From with LBG, with Lyndon Baines Johnson doing all these things and changing up all the directives that they were doing. They purposely were. This was a time where there was an opportunity to elevate people. They brought them down. They didn't want these people to succeed. They don't want to be financially successful. They don't want to educate them. They don't want to give them the viability to go forward. And now what we have is we have a segment of our country that's violent, that's not educated, and it's at war with us because they blame us for the problem that was put in place by these people who destroyed this country, destroyed our educational system, that basically chose favorites over people. That didn't teach anything, taught trans, homosexuality, the global homo agenda, all that stuff, all that did. And we are here now trying to clean up the mess. I don't know where we go from this. I mean, I know that President Trump got pushback about the 600 or 300,000 Chinese in this country going to these universities and stuff. And, Laura Ingraham was like, why do we need them to go there and stuff? And what President Trump says, well, if we banned them from going there and we didn't allow, half the universities would go down. A lot of people said, well, isn't that a good idea? Well, I mean, you have to think about this and understand the economics behind this. That would be an economic collapse overnight. You want to slowly do that and position how to do that in this way. I mean, the fact that foreign nationals get favoritism at these big name colleges in some way, why don't we get that? Why are they positioned in that way? Maybe there's a reason why we shouldn't be.
It's called spying.
Yes. And maybe there's a reason why President Trump is saying that. He wants to make sure that this game of gotcha continues on with these universities so you could bring the universities down. Maybe they're working with these people to bring America down. Have you thought about that? And take their money away through the executive orders of 13848 and 13818. I think there are prevailing arguments of why President Trump is allowing this, and a lot of people just can't see this because they're not processing it in this manner. They're not seeing the paradox. It's possible on one end that they're still doing this gotcha game, and that's one reason. But here's the other thing. You can't afford to go to those schools anyway. If you're still, look, Biden, look at the debt crisis with it. If you're bitching about a 50-year mortgage or a 15-year car loan, look what happened with school debt.
Look what happened with $120,000 in debt right off the rip. Tia says my 9-year-old grandson says the school pays students each day to do their work and be good.
My God.
I mean, that is absolutely unbelievable. Facts Matter over on YouTube. Many teachers around here cause the infighting and division seriously. I 100% agree with you on that. It is absolutely insane. Not good. I'm glad I went Bull Rush Bear. I'm glad I went to a good trade school, but my kids will be homeschooled for sure. Good. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, like shop or what they call trade schools.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we need more of those. I'd like to see more of those built up because in the future, we're going to need more people that are going to be better with their hands than playing around with the computers and AI and stuff. You're going to need people who know how to fix stuff, fix cars, engineers, build homes. You're going to need hard labor to do stuff that a lot of people are not going to be able to do. And I think in some way that is important for our future. And probably not, I would say less your generation, but the generation after you, a lot of them will probably go to trade schools because they're antithetical about college because of the free speech and all the craziness
100%.
That's gone on there. And it's unaffordable. They can't afford it. The families don't have the money, and they've lived through this time as like, I'm not going to be a slave to debt. And I think and that's why I said you could be critical of the 50-year mortgage and the 15-year car loan. You don't have to take it. I think there is a reason he's putting that out there. I hope you can understand it and see it, but you don't have to be a part of it. He's showing you, okay? Do you know Japan and Great Britain have 100-year mortgages, Thomas? And their debt from those 100-year mortgages carry over as a family legacy. Were you aware of that?
It's just like the death tax, man. It's
Warning us. He's giving us a heads up.
I
But
agree.
also saying get ahead of the curve because the interest rates are going to come down. That's my point. Sorry to bother you.
No, you're great, brother. I just want to say thanks to everybody out there that tuned in, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Pilled. Make sure that you hit that notification bell. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. on YouTube. You know that as well. Pilled and Rumble will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thanks to everybody that helped out. We almost hit 5,000 gold pills. If we could get another 700, it would hit us with the even 5,000 gold pills, which would be fantastic. I thank everybody. Please hit that notification bell. Let everyone know on your social media that we are back on YouTube. Please do that. I will be speaking with Linda Paris later on this week, probably tomorrow morning, to get that show in the works. But in the meantime, make sure you help out Brett Collins. Follow him, We Are Rise Show, on Rumble and many other platforms. We love you guys very much. You take care of yourselves, and just know in the end, God wins. Peace.